he saw kids that were 2 and 3 grade levels behind. And they brought with them other problems that middle-class students didn't have. Poverty, crime, troubled homes. In his neighborhood, more kids knew people who had been to prison than had gone to college. For decades, tests have shown an achievement gap between rich and poor children, and that over time, despite everything we've tried, nothing seems to make it any better. Even progressive educators began to believe that the gap could never be closed. And for those of us who drive by these schools, maybe we make the same dark assumption that those kids, the ones in the poorest neighborhoods, just can't learn. In 1947, many felt that the sound barrier could never be broken. Even men of science believed that our fastest planes would break apart when they approached the speed of sound. The glass would shatter and the metal would shred. It was a belief that kept many a pilot on the ground and science from moving forward. Until Chuck Yeager.
About half of the engineers gave us no chance at all of ever successfully flying beyond the speed of sound. They said it's a so-called barrier and the airplane would, go out of control or disintegrate. I didn't look at it that way.
Almost everybody who comes in and do school, they come in and try to save kids after they're lost.
Having seen firsthand the failures of reformers before him, Jeffrey Canada knew he had to rethink the way a school worked in a troubled neighborhood. At the same time in Houston, David Levin and Mike Feinberg were two frustrated teachers looking for another way. Across the hall from Levin was a veteran teacher named Harriet Ball.
Break it down and show me how you choose for these other measures. How do you choose for these other measures? Like the leader.
She noticed that her kids had trouble learning math terms, but could memorize a rap song.
It doesn't matter how heavy it is.
So she turned her multiplication tables into a song.
I'm a math book that I left on the...
She called them disposable crutches, and she said, once I have the basics in that way, in an enjoyable way, and the kids would sort of sing these songs out in the playground, then I can move to the next step.
For Levin and Feinberg, it was nothing short of a revelation. They studied Ball's methods and drew from other teaching practices and opened two new schools called KIPP Academy, one in Houston and the other in the Bronx. Against the advice of skeptics, Jeffrey Canada laid out an ambitious vision for a school that would go far beyond what others had tried.
We said, what if we never let our kids get behind?
He created an educational pipeline, which started at birth.
Can I get you a flyer on the baby college?
Following each child through every stage of their development, whatever it took.
8, 16, 24, 32,
Both KIPP and Canada used the same fundamentals. They increased classroom hours, held school on Saturdays and even in the summertime.
Does everybody agree with that?
Yes.
Put real focus on achievement with a singular emphasis on a pathway to college.
As you go, right? Could you hand me the dissecting needle?
Right from the start, there is no excuse. We expect you all to perform at high levels, and everybody cares about this. Everybody. Yeah, come here. What's up with this? It's a whole new look.
I'm going to gym. That scientists have discovered you can avoid...
And the results have been staggering.
The top charter schools are sending over 90% of their kids to four-year colleges. Because when you get the culture right, the teachers are helping each other out, and that long school day means that is the primary thing that student is engaged in. It works.
KIPP Academy has been named the highest performing middle school in the entire Bronx. Congratulations, KIPPsters.
But the experts refused to accept that this was anything more than a few charismatic leaders, an idea that could never be repeated or brought to scale. 16 years later, there are 82 KIPP schools across the country, each in low-income, underperforming neighborhoods, including KIPP LA Prep, where Daisy is applying.
You can't beat their data. We have now data from the first 1,000 kids who have gone through 4 years of KIPP. Those kids have gone from the 32nd to the 60th percentile in reading, and from the 40th to the 82nd percentile in math. We have never had those kinds of gains for low-income kids.
I want somebody to come up and draw 3 quarters for me.
In Jeffrey Canada's program, there are 8,000 students. In a neighborhood where less than 1 out of 10 residents have a college degree, 9 out of 10 are proficient in math and are on track to go to a 4-year college.
25 years ago, there was no proof that something else worked. Well, now we know what works. We know that it's just a lie that disadvantaged kids can't learn. We know that if you apply the right accountability standards, you can get fabulous results. So why would we do something else?
Brilliant. What you could be one of my teachers. When you finish, you get your college degree, come work for me. You can help us teach math, all right?
The students at KIPP and Jeffrey Canada's schools don't just do better than other poor kids, they do better than everyone, closing the achievement gap and shattering the myth that those kids can't learn.